Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everyone today? So good, I hope. So good. Coming to you live from Oceanside, California. Front bedroom. I've moved the table slightly so that I'm closer to the window. I'm hoping that helps with the lighting and everything. Good morning, Debbie. How are you? So good, I hope. I hope that your significant other is doing well today. Good morning, Jan. How are you? I hope you're well this morning, Miss Jan. So, I have so many things to talk to you about. You know, I always do. So, today, my idea for our art journaling adventure today is mostly monochromatic. That's where I'm going. And you can pick whatever color you want, but just know that we're going to try and stick with mostly monochromatic. Good morning, Melody. Oh, Jan, I'm sorry you're still sore. I think that's going to happen for a while, isn't it? That stinks. That stinks. So, mostly monochromatic. So that means just pick your color. Good morning, Jennifer. Where are you watching from, Jennifer? If you're brand new here, please like, comment, and subscribe to Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And then ask to join our 2 private Facebook groups, Let's Get Artsy with Ann Corbiere-Scott and Stitch the States with Ann Corbiere-Scott. That is the Stitch the States is my embroidery Facebook group. You can stitch along with me. You can just tune in. Every Wednesday morning, I do 30 minutes of easy conversation and slow stitching. And I would love to have you stitch along with me. And then Let's Get Artsy with Ann Corbiere-Scott. That's our artsy community. And I will tell you, that's a place where you can post pictures. We share all things Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs. But it's the most kind, encouraging, lovely, creative group of pals you'll ever have. Believe me, I have counted on you all more than you'll ever know in the last little while. And do you know what? You came through like gangbusters. So, that is that. So I'm going to pull out okay, so for today's project, mostly monochromatic, I asked you to print off Vintage Papeterie 1, and that's right here, and then Forget-Me-Nots. I asked you to print them both on copy paper, and then I coated mine with watercolor ground, so I have a little bit more play. I started painting one already. You know, I have 9,000 things I already started painting. Okay, so as you can see by this, my mostly monochromatic color is going to be blue. But you can, your mostly monochromatic can be, seriously, it could be hot pink, it could be yellow, it could be whatever you want. I haven't figured out exactly what I think I do still want to have my little bit of yellow in the center of these. But for starts, let's find a clean page like an open page in my art journal that doesn't have, oh, there we go, that doesn't have anything on it. So I have that one, or I have, oh, Or I have this one. Let's do this one. What's on the... There we go, right here. So I'm going to... So is it dry, Jan? Did you go thick on your watercolor ground and it's dry? I know, I love how chunky it is too. And I'm really getting excited about the prospect of starting a brand new art journal in 2023 and what that kind of looks like to me. I'm thinking about making it a bit of a commonplace book. So a commonplace book slash art journal, right? So for those of you who don't know what a commonplace book is, be sure to Google that and see what you think. So my page is dry. Like I coated it with watercolor ground this morning. So you can either cover your entire page with this. So our base of our page could be this whole thing, or you could cut it apart and put it down. I think I want to cover my entire page. So I want to trim off the, I like all the text, right? So I want to trim off any of the plain spots, right? I want it nice and full of funky text. I love that, right? So now I think, let's do this tippity top. I feel like I want to... This, and I will just tell you, this is going to be a project that's going to kind of be days in the making, like our Chase the Dime, like the Charlie Brown t-shirt. I think we've got lots of time to grow it. You know, I just kind of love that. So I'm going to take my glue stick and coat my entire page, right? And then I'm going to place my vintage papeterie one down and then trim off the excess. And while I'm doing that, you can be thinking about what your color is going to be, what your mostly monochromatic is going to be. Like, where do you want to go with that? I'm going to jam that in there. I want all of this text to really create this cool, funky background. There we go. And I'm just really jamming it down into the spine so that I have good, solid coverage. And it's wrinkly as heck, which I love because that's going to make a nice fat art journal. I love that. I love that, love that, love that. Okay, now I'm going to push back on this side. And then I will trim off the excess. Let's go this way. And there's one. Now trim off this one. I don't know what you can see. Okay. So now I am going to, I have my little notes here of all the steps I want to include. But here's the thing with art journaling. You can include whatever you want, right? You can, hi Marcy. You can do, we've learned lots and lots of art journaling techniques, right? So we can certainly incorporate any of those techniques that we want. But for me, for the base of this, I want to start with, I knew I wanted to start with sorry, I wish you could see where I'm working. I have, it's the littlest table, and it's, I have stuff stacked on the windowsill, and then there's a little table in front of it, and it's covered in towels, and I have stuff all stacked on there. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so I want to start out with a watery wash of turquoise, because that's kind of the blue that I'm going for. So I just made a whole list of artsy techniques, and maybe I'll come up with something else, or maybe I'll I don't have a squirt bottle, and I don't have a spray bottle, I should say, and I don't have a little dropper for water, so I'm just gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way with just dipping my brush in the paint, like a nice watery brush, but I'm using a big flat, a number 18. And remember, this is the Moderna from Royal Langnickel, and this brush was less than $4. So just know, it doesn't need to be, especially for art journaling, you absolutely do not need high dollar brushes, because you're going to use them for all kinds of things. I don't differentiate my brushes. I don't use some for watercolor and some for acrylic. I kind of use everything for everything. So I'm going to set that aside. I just wanted a watery wash of color, right? So I want this to kind of dry, and then I'm going to fiddle around with this a little bit. Okay. I know that I want to, I'm just going to use this spray of flowers. But another thing that I was thinking about, so when I coated this sheet with watercolor ground, I coated everything because I'm like, you know what? There might be some little bits and pieces I want to use, maybe I want to stamp something. Maybe I want to draw or write something, like write some words, or I don't know. I haven't figured that part out yet. So I want to keep all my options open. So I'm going to, remember I said mostly monochromatic. So I'm going to put some yellow in the center of these flowers. So I have, like I said, I brought all kinds of artsy, art journal-y tools with me. I brought distress inks, I brought stencils, oh, look at that. Honestly, well, let's see if we can remove it. Where am I going with that? Goodness. Well, that's not too bad, I guess. It's just harder to do the removal of color on copy paper, but that's not looking too bad. Good morning, Linda. Let's see, what else I brought like a variety of stencils. I brought, let's see if I can find your comments. Hi, Renee. How are you? And Gwen. How is everyone? So good, I hope. Okay, so I hope that you have gotten your vintage papeterie coated in watercolor ground. Or if you're not feeling that this morning, then just painted with a watery wash of color. Okay. Get those yellow centers going. And then I feel like I want to deepen this turquoise because I just kind of did like a watery wash on all of the petals. Oh, I was going to say, so remember I said this is going to be a project that's going to take us a couple of days. So I'm feeling like I want to do like the base of it today, and then we'll touch base about it again on Tuesday with that pop-in paint party. And Tuesday's pop-in paint party will be, Solomon, will be art journaling also. And so we're going to work on this a little bit, and then if you read in the, you won't have read in the newsletter. You'll get the newsletter this afternoon. I put it out on Thursday, and I'll tell you why. Because when I was trying to hurry and do it, release it before I left, I couldn't remember what I did to change the release time, so it's just going out on Thursday. So, just know you'll get it in your inbox today, this afternoon. So I'm going to start to deepen here. Not too much, just enough to give it a little definition. It's kind of looking a little flat. So I'm just going to there we go. So how is everyone doing this morning? Are you painting along with me? Are you just watching? Are you, oh, look at those, look perfect. Don't you love when something happens that you kind of wanted to happen? Okay, Solomon just walked in here and opened the door, so I need to go close the door because CBS Morning Show is on full blast, and my husband's probably going to be in a meeting blabbing in just a second, so give me one sec. Okay, see if he breaks through that. He just might. Oh, Sarah, that's so nice. Oh, Michelle, do tell. How exciting for you. I love that. I hope it's a new fun adventure for you. I always find it kind of fun to paint with my pals. So do you see that if you're new here, I have this technique that I call the Jiggy Jaggy blend. So you're gonna dip after you have some paint down. Sorry about that. You're going to dip your brush in water. I'm gonna sneeze again, sorry. Tap it off on your paper towel. So now your brush is just damp, and then you're just going to jiggy jaggy, and that's going to soften that edge. And then you're going to get a really nice blendy vibe going there. So now I'm going to come in and dip in my paint again and get little bits of, get some color down here. And there's, you know, when you dip your paintbrush in paint, if your brush is wet, it's going to absorb a lot of color. I mean, not dripping wet, but if it's wettish, it's going to pull a lot of color. So you're going to be able to make that color work for you, or you can come back in these places that are super heavy, and you're going to be able to pull color from there, right? So like here, I can pull that color way down here. Oh, thank you, Sarah. That's awfully nice. Oh my gosh, Michelle, that sounds like an amazing job. And you will be so good at that. You will be so good at that. Okay, let's take some more from here. Do you see but the addition of just this little bit of color, you already change the vibe of the flower. You already start to give it form. Okay, so then I'm gonna let that soak in just a little minute. Well, I'm not shocked. You'll be amazing at that. You'll be amazing. So let's rinse our brush. Tap, tap, tap. And then let's start to jiggy jaggy blend. And I like to, you know, as always, I like to work at the center, have deeper color at the right where this the petals meet the center of the flower, and then work it up the sides. So that's going to give our petal its beautiful form. After my mother-in-law fell, she got so many flowers. And you know, I'm just going to tell you, you know, I was snapping pictures of everything. There were some that were so unusual. Bouquets that were, oh my gosh, so pretty. So many friends and neighbors brought her flowers. And her sons. There you go. So pretty. You notice how I'm leaving little bits of white? Not on purpose, just randomly happening. That's going to give us some really cool bits of interest. So pretty. what color did you pick? I'm dying to know. Well, you are a cool kid in my estimation, Miss Michelle. And I think they saw something, you know? They saw what we know. How's that? I think it takes a hard worker and someone with a big heart to handle that job. And you've got both of those. Greens. Interesting. Pinks. Nice, nice, nice. Ooh, ultramarine. I love ultramarine. I'm kind of getting, you know how I had like a thing for orange? I still do. But ultramarine blue has kind of started to creep its way into a lot of my art lately. I'm kind of digging that. So I can't wait to see it. I love when we all paint together and then when we share what we've created, because the crazy thing is that we all start with the same supplies, but then everybody interprets it slightly different, and that's the coolest thing, I think. There we go. Okay, so let's set that aside to dry. Let's see how this is. Still pretty wet, but we could start with another technique. Liquid watercolor is very fun, Deb, and it's different. You'll see the difference in your application, in your color intensity, how much water you add will change things, change like the values and that kind of thing. The texture of what you're painting. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you for grabbing something new. You know what? While we're waiting for this to dry a little minute, let's do our comfort book. Let's see. The gold saddle goldfish. The gold saddle goldfish is a beautiful goldfish, similar in size and behavior to a red mullet. I don't know either one of those, so I'm going to have to look those up after class. Vulnerable to numerous larger predators, including humans, within the waters around Hawaii. Local divers have recently begun to notice a striking and much larger fish of an identical yellow-gold color swimming in the same sea. When divers swim right next to this big fish, it stops being a big fish altogether, breaking up into 8 or so standard-size gold saddle goldfish. Goatfish. Goatfish, sorry. It appears that the fish swim extremely close together in a perfect fish-shaped pattern when they feel threatened. Another one of the million examples in nature of how we living creatures shed our vulnerability when we join together and swim as one. Humans, too, can be saved by each other. Each year's human rights struggles, catastrophes, or pandemics are examples of how people pull together in a crisis, how neighbors turn to neighbors, friends to friends, allies to allies. We have each other. Togetherness is a rule of nature. Come on, oh my gosh, that's a really good one. I'm thinking about that one now. How about you? Are you kind of pondering it? Pondering Ooh, Keely, what a great idea. It is profound, isn't it? The whole book is so profound. I just love it. Okay, so I have my my watercolor wash, and it's kind of dry. Maybe, let's see. Is this more dry? I'm going to fussy cut this while I'm waiting for this to dry just a little bit more. Because I want to somehow incorporate these flowers into the page. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not exactly sure where I want to go completely. But that's the beauty of art journaling, isn't it? Like you start with kind of an idea, and then it kind of grows organically. Hey, Kelly, how are you? I'm telling you, that book, Jan, when you have a dark day, or if you're just, it's a great way to just start the day because it gives you something positive to ponder throughout your day, I think. And I got that book, Jan, because Keely sent it to me when I was really needing something. You know, great friends are like that. They just kind of know when you're needing a little something. I have this vision of kind of how I want this page to look. So I'm so anxious to see how it all works out. Like I said, I want layers and layers of mostly monochromatic. Like my layers, I want on the base of my page, I want those all turquoise. Like that's kind of how I see it. I mean, you can do I totally get it. I totally get it, Jan. I did have a little breakdown, but I'm doing better now because my friends were there. There's something about that, isn't there? And it does help to have some nice words to fill your noggin. I read this thing about how we should be really conscious about what we consume, like what we consume, food and drink, but also what we consume electronically, what we consume through television, what we read, what we listen to, like what kind of music you listen to, or if you listen to the radio or whatever, that all of those things have an effect on you, right? They're filling you up in some kind of way. So I just feel like if you do something like just read a page or two of the comfort book each day, oh my gosh, it's just magic how it gives you something that, it'll just float back in your noggin throughout the day. What we read about. We'll think about those fish. What did you say, Sue? What's the name of that? Swimmy. Well, we're going to have to find that. That's so funny, Keels. I just mailed it to a cousin in England. I just find it so, such a resource for all kinds of people. And she sent me a picture the other day of the page. Do you remember when we read the segment about toast? It was so good. And she was like, that one just spoke to me. And it was so simple and so profound. And I said, and toast is delicious. She was like, yep, it sure is. Okay, let's clean these up a little bit. So even though I have trimmed this out mostly, I'm not going to glue it down just yet, but I just want to kind of think about where I want this to be positioned on my page, right? But now I want to do some mark making. I have not. Is that who you've sent it to? Is that who you're sending it to? No, I sent it to Jeff's cousin Jane. It's so good. It's so, so good. Oh my gosh, Jan, isn't that the truth? Yes. Who you surround yourself with, like who you fill your days with, who you converse with, all of those things have so much to do with you as a person, you know? Okay, I'm going to start with, I have some stencils. And Keely, you know I brought my special stencil. But I did buy a new one. So, just a sec. Look at how pretty that looks on there. Ugh, I just love it. This funny little table. I wish you could see where I am and what I'm kind of working with. There we go. Okay. So I have these stencils. I have that big, can I tell you, this is one of my favorites. The Dot Fade from the Tim Holtz collection. Don't you just hate that he keeps, I hate giving him my money, but you know what? He keeps coming up with amazing stuff. So what am I going to do? Deny myself? No. Oh, it's just crazy because it's Jeff's workplace too. So I have Dot Fade. I have this Mosaic, which I'm just here for. I have the bubbles that you know I love. But here's the new one that I just got. And it is called, it looks like a city to me. So I don't know. I wonder what, Metropolis, which I thought was apropos. So let's open that. And then I grabbed some inks, like, I literally, like, grabbed some inks as we were packing up. And I have, look at this cute little bag that I got from artsy friend Lori. And I have, ooh, look, I grabbed some golds too. Ooh, gonna have to do something with that. Remember next, well, you don't know, but in your newsletter, you're going to see that next Tuesday, we're going to start to do some autumn pages in our art journal. So be thinking about that. So now I'm going to just start to add some texture and visual interest with my stencils. So I am using, I believe this is Mermaid Lagoon, yes, which I thought was kind of, I want to use my new stencil. Look at it. Look at that. I tried to, oh, what a dope. I tried to, I rubbed the tool without the foam on, right on the, and guess what? Nothing happened. Okay. So get some color on there. And I just want to organically get little bits. Oh, look at that. And I just like it when it kind of fades out. Yes. Look at that. So now let's come in with something a little bit more, like this is so linear. Let's go with something a little more organic. Some bubbles. And remember, it doesn't matter. Oh, you guys, I'm loving that. It doesn't matter like where it is or any of that jazz, because remember, it's going to be so, we're going to have so many other things going on. But I'm really feeling like I want to do the smush technique. So I'm going to use this, remember you can make a craft mat out of anything slick. So this packaging, I'm just going to squish And then I'm just gonna, this is gonna be a funky one because I'm just gonna be putting some water on it with a brush. This is a good testament for, you just make art however you can. Do you know what I mean? You just make do. Okay, so let's smush, smush, smush. We just want layers and layers and layers of artsy goodness. And I'm just going to keep growing it and growing it and growing it. How am I doing on time? I don't even know. Where am I time-wise? Oh, yikes. Okay, I'm going to try and soak up some of this. Because now I'm super wet again. Just dab up the heavy stuff. Isn't that getting more and more interesting? I'm loving that. And then, let's see, what do I have? What did I do with my flower? There we go. Oh, I'm loving that. Okay, where's my list of techniques? Mark making. So I really wanted to do some mark making, and I'm feeling like I want to do some paintbrushy mark making. So I have this flat that is a 1/2 inch, I believe. So I'm going to wet it, and then I'm going to come into my turquoise paint quite thick, like not quite as watery as like when I did my wash. And I'm just going to start doing some marks. Right? And I'm going to go all over the entire sheet. Oh, I love that. Can I tell you, I love like chunks of 3 like that. Oh, I'm loving that. I'm loving that. I'm loving that. And let's look at that again. Oh, so pretty. And then, let's do, oh, everybody take a drink. Goodness sakes, we're at 43 minutes and I haven't said everybody take a drink. Goodness sakes. Okay. So now we can do a couple of different things. A couple things I was thinking about. I'm thinking about splatter and drips. I'm not usually a big drips fan. Like, that's just not my jam. But I was thinking it might be kind of interesting. Like, I need these mark making bits to dry, and then I can come in with some drips, splatters, whatever. But I also brought in this little pencil case, I have my Tim Holtz watercolor. Is this it? Yep. Watercolor pencils, and I have Mermaid Lagoon, so I have another version of this color, right? So let's come in and do some mark making like this, right? And we can layer it on top of other mark making that we've done, on top of the stencil, on top of Old Smoky. No, I'm kidding. We just want lots and lots of visual interest, lots and lots of texture and, right? I just like to have lots of stuff going on. I always feel like that makes for a very interesting art journaling piece. Hey Marlene, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's move that out of the way. It's blocking a little bit of my sun. Like, I wish I would have thought this through more when I was packing, but I just kind of threw crap in a bag. Do you know what I mean? I will tell you, for the most part, I didn't even unpack from our last visit. Most of the stuff I did not unpack. But, I mean, that is one benefit of, remember when I first got these, I talked about, you know, these colors, you know, these Tim Holtz colors, right? And that, that kind of makes for easy art creating on the go, right? Okay, what did you say, Jan? You know what? I was thinking about some modeling paste. And you know you can color your modeling paste. So that's an idea. Let's see. There's so many birds in this neighborhood. I love it. And they just sing to us all day long. Keels, I think sending it to that friend is perfect. Oh my gosh, Jan, I'm sure it's going to be so cool. Hey Sharon, how are you? Okay, so look at my hand. I've been jamming my fingers in all of my color. So I'm going to close that up. And when this is dry, this is my idea. I want to put this down. Shut up. How cool is that going to be? But then once this is down, I want to go around the edge of all of these flowers, and I want to build up a little bit of dimension, right? A little bit of depth. So I'm going to go around the edge. So once this is dry, I will stick this down, and then I'll come in with, I do it with kind of a lot of different things. So I might come in with my watercolor pencils, my Tim Holtz. I might come in with that for my first layer. Then I will come in with, does anybody hear Jeff sneezing? He's so loud. Because now his new office is in the living room right next to me. I might go around with my watercolor pencils, maybe wet. I'm kind of feeling like that might be a cool way to start. And then regular colored pencils just around the edges, and then regular pencil, but regular pencil right up next to the edge is what I'm thinking. I want to cut out these white bits because I want this to peek through. I think that will be very cool. So I'm just going to poke my scissors through there and snip that out. I just think that's going to be super cool. Oh, I'm loving it. And I swear, you all have to take a picture of your pages in progress. It does not have to be finished. Please know that. I want to see your progress, and all your friends do too. And you want to see my progress. I mean, it's kind of weird that we're doing it together, but only you can see what I'm doing. But look at, shut up, you guys. Look at how good that looks. And I have one little one here and one little one there. I just think that will just add another little something, something. Because I want to see, you know, what do you have in your stash that you're going to add to your page? You're mostly monochromatic. You know, that's kind of a cool, it will be cool to see. How everyone creates and what you, and remember, this is going to be ongoing. So, just note, like, just work on it today and then set it aside. And then maybe don't pick it up until Sunday or whatever, just when you're inspired. Oh, I have another little one right there. Perfect. I'm really feeling like I want to splatter on here too. Like that will kind of, oh, I have one little one right there. I feel like the splatter will kind of like bring it all together just a little bit more. Keely, that's so good because I'm down to, my phone just told me I have low battery. Oh, see? Look at that. It's looking exactly what I wanted it to look like. Oh, come on. You know what I think? You know what I think? I'm going to do some of this Mermaid Lagoon splatter on this page. So this page, I just took a giant stencil that I have, like 12 by 12 stencil. And I traced the flowers with just my black pen. And then I went over all those lines with like just watercolor, right? And then I started to do some pen work. And I just did it one day when I was just feeling like I needed to do something. You know how those days come and go. And I kind of dig it. I love that the orange is on top of those blue, that blue grid. And now we have some blue splatter. And now I can do some more blue splatter over here. So good. And you know what? I still have this little bit of color. Can't waste it. Pat it down. Perfect. Perfect. Wipe that last little bit up. How are we doing on time? I'm just loving it. I'm loving it, loving it. I really like that I snipped out those little bits because I feel like that is really going to, I feel like that's going to really, I like those little bits peeking through, right? So, hi, Tim. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh. I just thought of something, you guys. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? It's too incredible for words. What if I adhere this right up to the edge, right? Maybe I go way up here, and then I cut around the edge of the page. Shut it! Because I don't have to do here, right? I can just do cut there. And so this is the edge of the page, right? Oh, stop it right now. That's totally what I'm doing. That's totally what I'm doing. So that's going to give me some really cool visual interest. You guys, genius breeds genius, doesn't it? I can hardly wait. So now my page is I'm still wet. My page needs to dry before I can do that, but shut it. That's totally what I'm doing. Get out, get out, get out. Jan, I love that. The page behind is Vintage Papeterie 1. And you'll have to watch all the steps that we did because there were a lot. But it's Vintage Papeterie 1 coated with watercolor ground and then glued down to our page. And then we are growing it, growing it, growing it. Well, now I can't wait to see everybody's interpretation of everything. For sure, for sure, for sure. And I didn't even talk about any of my talking points, so I'll save those for next week. I do have one thing that I came across, and I just thought it was so apropos for us. When you can't find the sunshine, be the sunshine. You are all my sunshines. That was just me talking. But then the question was, what are ways that you bring happiness into your life? I talked about it during my stitch along yesterday, and I try to always put a question of the week, so I'm going to put that question of the week there, but I want you to ponder that too. Like, what are ways that you bring happiness into your own life? What are the ways that, obviously art, right? And friends and good books and music. Those are all ways that I do. So I'm dying to know how you answer. Oh, what's on the page? Okay. It's a page with hardly anything on it. So I can totally make that work for me. But it's an art journal. It doesn't matter, right? It can be whatever we want it to be. The sun came out. Oh, Keels. I love that. How apropos, don't you think? Oh, I think that's lovely. How are we doing on time, Keels? Because now it's not showing for me. Oh my gosh, I have so many ideas. And I want to bring that question into my art journal entry. when you can't find the sunshine, be the sunshine. But what I want to incorporate in this is what are ways that you bring happiness into your life. So really think about that. Really, ooh, you'll have to watch the whole video because I talk about how I created that. It was so simple. It was so simple. But yes, I love them too. And I love that it's right next to a blue page. Nice, nice color wheel action. Okay, so we are over by 1 minute. Big surprise. I adore you all. I can hardly wait to see your art journaling pages. Have an amazingly tremendous Thursday. Today's my child's birthday, 29. How did that happen? I would like to know. Have the best day, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging with me, for creating with me, for following all my crazy harebrained ideas and embracing them on to boot. Come on. That's amazing. Thanks so much, everybody. And I will see you. Well, I'll see you tomorrow in, thank you, Tam. I will see you tomorrow in Ornamentally Yours. And holy smokes, wait till you see all the ideas we have. Carmen and I cooked up so many ideas. Thanks, everybody. Have an amazing day. Bye.